Check, check, check. Check, check, check.
1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, what's up, y'all? This is your girl Love, and I am back officially on, Facebook Live. I'm with Ready on Fire now, and Wealthy Wednesdays I will do once a month. It'll be the first Wednesday of every month to give y'all some financial information before y'all start spending y'all checks all crazy and stuff like that. So every month I will have a different financial person come in on the show, and I will bring y'all good information. Y'all will love all the shows, for sure, for sure. So today, for the first show, the world premiere, I have Trina Carter here. She's a senior banker from PNC Bank. I'm so excited about this collaboration. And today's episode will be about banking 101. So, Trina, how long have you been working for PNC Bank?
I've been working for PNC since 2015, the summer. Yeah.
And would you say that working for a bank helped your financial situation, or did it make it a little harder? Meaning like your financial literacy, like your education on finances.
Oh, yeah. You can never be too old or too young to learn about your finances. I teach young students, grade school. I teach at Morgan State some students about financial literacy, as well as employees at Morgan. And I go out to workplaces to help educate and help our brown people learn more about it, as well as the Europeans, because, they know more about finance than we do.
Yes. And that's one of the reasons why I created this show. It actually started out on a smaller platform, and now I've transferred it to a bigger one. It's called Wealthy Wednesdays, and it's basically for that, to educate my people. I'm learning with y'all as well, so don't think that I know everything. That's why I'm collaborating with people. Like, I'm learning with y'all.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that I think we need to, educate each other.
Correct. You can never learn everything. Like, it's so many intricate parts. So starting with the basics is most important. Most people don't have bank accounts or know anything about banking. They have historically not had bank accounts or known about saving. They just live day to day, month to month, waiting for their paycheck or waiting for their monthly stipend to come in, and having to live by those means and not knowing other ways to create their own wealth. And be healthy with their funds.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a big key, to have healthy finances.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all know we gotta make money to survive. We can't live without it. But at the same time, if we're not investing, if we don't know the information on how to invest or how to save, then
Correct.
we just lost.
Very true.
So my first question is, what type of accounts do banks have?
The typical account that most customers want to have is a basic checking account and at least a savings account. Those are the two that are the most instrumental in your life. Everybody needs to be able to spend money, but everybody should want to save money as well. So for every dollar that you spend, you should be trying to save a couple of your coins on the side. Even if it's only 25 cents out of every dollar that you have.
I think that will make a big of a difference.
It really does. I teach and educate a lot of students about that, because we have different types of accounts. Mm-hmm. And with those accounts, it'll give you the chance to kind of put things away for later, and kind of, it's a weird saying for me, but I tell a lot of people, basically steal money from yourself. Right. Like, the government steals money from you every day. You pay taxes on everything.
Yes.
They find a way to get your money, whether it's you hitting a pothole or paying for one of those red light tickets. If you can speed down the street and pay for a red light ticket, you can surely put a couple of dollars to the side so that you have some money for an emergency as well as a savings.
Exactly. It makes sense. It makes sense. So is checking and savings the only type of account you can get? Like, do you have to start out having a checking and a savings first, or or you can just come in and get a different type of account?
Most people start with checking and savings, just basically because with a checking, you can have most of your money go there, and then you can trickle funds off, whether it's $1, $5, $10 a week, a day, once a
Right.
month, into that savings, so that you don't even miss that money. It'll just be like you're taxing your own money to make sure that you have money saved up. And then a third account would be something that would be like an emergency account, something that wouldn't impact your regular spending and your regular bill pays, but also be able to not touch your savings, because your savings is very instrumental in your future. You can't just think of today or this month. You can't think of just this year or next year. You got to think of when I retire. I don't want to be the person that has to go back to work or work for Walmart handing out stickers at 85, 90 years old because you don't bring in enough income. Or your significant other passes away, or your
Yeah.
child that you thought was going to live forever and help you out, or, and the way things are in Baltimore, you never know what the circumstances are. And a lot of that has to do with having healthy finances. So healthy finances are just like having a healthy blood pressure or diet plan or sugar diabetes. Those things affect as well your finances, because you eat a certain way, you spend a certain way. You don't have certain money because you can't spend the extra money to eat the right way. You can't take your meds like you need to, but if you ate right, you wouldn't have to take the meds. So that's extra money that you're spending unnecessarily, which also shortens your lifespan, which then affects your family. So then they have to pay for burial, and they don't have the insurance money. So it's just a trickling issue that,
Yes.
constantly one thing will roll and snowball into other things. And life expectancies you have to be ready for. And it's never too late to try to get yourself on the right track.
Never. It's never too late. And I agree with you. I agree with you. Your finances is just like eating healthy and stuff like that. Like you said, if you eat healthy, you wouldn't have to pay for those meds 10 years from now.
Right.
And young people definitely don't understand that.
No.
Like when you're 20, you think you can eat whatever.
Right. Right.
Like whenever. You think, oh, I'm healthy, I'm feeling healthy, you eat whatever.
Right. No vegetables. That's just like no savings. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like
it's
eat
the
healthy,
same thing.
save healthy. If you do those type of things, then we wouldn't be putting so much money into healthcare. If you look at how the demographic, blacks tend to put more money in healthcare and fast food. Why is that?
Wow.
Why? I mean, ask those questions to yourself. Sometimes you need to think about it in a different way, come out of the normal box. Most people are stuck in a way of thinking, a frame of mind, because they have seen it generationally happening a certain way.
Yeah.
Just because your parents or your grandparents didn't succeed on one level does not mean that you don't have those same opportunities or better or bigger opportunities. It's too many ways where you can actually Google it. You can go to Facebook. Other people will tell you different ways to do things. You can go to different websites and they educate you. You can go to YouTube. They have live different ways that they'll tell you. They have people, TED Talks. They explain constantly how to handle your finances, where to start with your finances, and thinking positive about your finances and how you can get on the right track. And there is always banks. In the position that I'm in, like Love explained, I'm a senior banker. So I don't just teach myself, I teach others. So I go out, I teach the people that work with me. I mentor multiple people within PNC I know people at other banks. I work in the community. I help with people who have mental illness, drug abuse, homeless shelters, stuff like that, so that they can have that second chance of changing the road that they've been going on onto a new road,
Yes.
to do things better or different, with more security. Even if you don't ever want to be a millionaire, you just want to feel secure. And that relief of knowing that not just a certain day of the week you're going to have money in your account,
Right.
knowing that you always have enough to pay the bills. You don't have to worry about somebody coming and knocking on the door to say, hey, you got to go. This isn't your house anymore. Like those small things, or if something was to happen devastatingly to your family where you have a loss and then you
Yeah.
can't afford to take care of that situation because you don't even have simple life insurance. That is something also banks can do for you. In my position, a lot of times what I do is I call customers and I ask them, can they come in, sit down? I want to have one-on-one with them, talk to them about their finances, where they are now, where they see themselves in the future, what do they want to do for themselves. And in that position is a not like I get paid by the bank to do it. It's not like I get anything out of it other than the satisfaction that I'm reaching and touching more people like myself. I'm not any different than anyone else. I come from a one-parent household. You know, my mother raised me by herself. So I kind of know the struggles of my mother just trying to do everything alone. But also having some small help from family members here and there, because I come from that generation where it was like family helped everybody and people in the neighborhood helped everybody.
Yes, hold up. That's a whole
But nowadays,
different topic for
yeah,
another show.
yeah, but you know, everybody doesn't do that now because you
Yes.
can't do it because people get upset if you tell their kids what to do, even though they don't even know what to do for their kids.
Exactly.
When you should be trying to reach one and teach one,
definitely.
all the time about everything that you know. So what I get to do is call customers and basically beg them to come to sit down with me and share their personal story with me and where they are right now with their finances, where they want to be in 6 months, in 2 years, in 5 years, and when they retire, and how I can help them.
Wow.
Give them some kind of change in their life, some kind of purpose, some kind of education to share, and some relief, because it's very stressful mentally. It's not healthy for your body, that you're worried about funds and money every day. It is not a healthy
Not
thing.
at all. It's not. And it's stressful. And
Yeah.
stress kills, as y'all know.
Yes.
It kills.
Yeah. And then who's going to pay for the burial? Because nobody got the money. Right.
If we all financially messed up, we definitely don't have no burial money.
Yeah.
And oh goodness, it's just crazy.
That's why they end up with all those GoFundMes.
Yep, GoFundMe pages. Well, listen, okay, so what other benefits do banks have besides storing your money? Like, I mean,
It's safe. I've had customers, young customers, come in. They do little side hustle here, there, whatever, and they house their funds in their house. If I usually, what I'll ask them, ask them open questions that makes them think, and basically, what would you do if your house burnt down? How are you going to cover the funds that were burnt down? Because the house cost isn't going to cover it. And if you don't own the house, then it's not covered under the house insurance. It's money. It's cash. There's no way for them to receipt how much money you actually had in that house. So they're not going to just be like, okay, I had $100,000 under my mattress and I can give you 100. No bank, no insurance company is going to give out that kind of money like that. Now, if it's in the bank insures up to $250,000 per the account, if it's a checking or a savings or a money market. So all of your money is secure. If that bank gets robbed, if that bank burns down, if that bank explodes, if somebody comes in and rips every dollar bill up in the building, has nothing to do with your actual money, because money is really transit, and we can transfer from one bank to another bank.
Right.
And we all know they have a place where they just make money in a building.
Make it all day long.
Yeah. I've had customers actually come in and had stacks of cash that were burnt and ask me, well, what am I supposed to do with this money? And I say, are you a PNC customer? Mm-hmm. And they're like, no. I'm like, do you bank anywhere? No, I don't trust banks. But you trust a bank enough to come here and ask me, can I trade in your money? What I can trade in is $20 out of your stack of hundreds. 20. What are you going to do with the rest?
Right.
You going to go to every bank in the city to try to get a $20 bill for every dollar? Like, how many times are you going to be able to do that? And I was like, it would have been so much safer. I said, but wow. Look, if you open an account today, then I can trade all that money in. And he was like, no, he didn't want to do it. Because he didn't trust banks that much. So you trust that your next house ain't going to burn up. Because, I mean, when I say he came in with stacks, he had stacks of money like this, and they were $100 bills. Talking about he keeps all, and a bunch of it he just threw in the trash, because he figured nobody could replace
it. Do anything with it. See, so your money is insured. You said up to $250,000
each account. Yeah.
Each account. Wow. So what is you said a money marketing account?
A money market has a higher yielding interest rate. So a basic interest rate is low, but it's still safer than having it in your house. You're earning something. It's basically pennies on the dollar. But if you had a money market and you had a substantial amount of money in a money market, say $10,000, you could earn a pretty good coin on that $10,000. Then we also have other accounts like CDs. Like when I was younger, my grandparents had multiple CDs, and they would house the CDs separately and then cash them out at different times. They knew the amounts, and they would cash them out at need B, and they just would do that. Like even if they hit the lottery for a certain amount of money, they would be like, okay, I got this $5,000 CD. I'm gonna cash it out this week. Come drive me to the bank. And I would drive them to the bank, and they cash it, and they give me a couple of dollars for driving it to the bank, which really wasn't a couple of dollars. It was a good couple hundred just to drive. And I'd be like, I don't want the money. And I literally would slide the money in her house, because I mean, it was my grandmother. I didn't want her money.
Grandma was slick with the money though, moving it. So what is a CD account?
So a CD is a certified deposit, like a certificate of deposit. So it's certified, it's locked in. When you deposit into the account, it is there for a set amount of time with a set locked in rate. You can get no rate lower or no rate higher. If they tell you it's a 2.5% on every dollar, that's what you're going to get at the end of that term. If they say it's a 35 cent then you will get that at the end of whatever the term is. They can go as low as 1 month for a CD, all the way up to 360 months in a CD. Okay. Some people do 10-year CDs and stuff like that. You do earn a lot more money, but it's not as much as if you did stocks or bonds or brokerage CD. Brokerage CDs are where the money is.
Brokerage CDs?
Yes.
Now, what is that? I'm interested in finding out what's that, and how much money do you need to start one of those?
Okay, so normally with a brokerage CD, they want you to have at least $5,000 that does not affect your regular paying out of money. So that means, say you have bills that you pay every month, your rent, your food, cable, whatever expenses you have. Yes, all those expenses can't include the money that you're saying you're going to put away. You have to have at least 6 months of your actual bill money saved up before a bank will allow you to do it, because they don't want you to go into it, because then you'll be penalized if you go into it. So it's set with a structural contract, where the contract states that you will keep this money. If you say 3 years, then it's locked in at 3 years. 3 years is the time. You won't get it a day before. If you get it a day before, they take all of your interest back. You only get the flat amount of money that you put into it. So it's
Really,
only
it's
worth
really
like
you just tucked it away and
yeah. So yeah, and you could have just put it in a regular checking account for that,
right.
or a regular savings account, and then not have any penalty. So it is very important that if you make the decision that you want to do something like that, say your monthly bills that you pay out is $1,500 a month, you want to have close to $8,500 saved up, separate from the 5,000 that you want to put into a CD brokerage CD. That 5,000 would grow a lot better if you had 5, 10, or 15 years that you let it sit, because it fluctuates and goes up over time. Yes. And a lot of times, or what people get kind of skeptical about brokerage and CDs and stuff like that, is that the up and down. It's just like doing stocks. So people like on the edge of their seat if they, but oh my God,
yes,
like ugh, they trying to steal my money. It's not what it is. It's just, it's a game of like chess or poker or rolling the dice. You just never know what end you're gonna come up on. You literally could pull out your money and then 2 days later it could go way down or it could go way up. And people get so upset when they do that. But the best kind is if you do, like I said, a brokerage CDs are good because they are set as annuities. And an annuity, most people don't understand, but it's like having life insurance. So it's a life insurance. It's like it's a policy for life insurance. It lasts an expectancy of at least 3 years, up to 5, sometimes 10, matter on how long you want to keep it. Once you lock into that, then that's what you have. It has a set rate, and it'll cover if, say a situation happens and somebody does pass in that 3 years. You can pull it and it won't penalize you.
Okay.
So that's the trick in
that's
doing
the
a
insurance
if you do if you do an insured one, yeah, an annuity, mutual fund, or something like that.
Is that something that you would recommend to get like a kid or?
For children, it just matters. So we have some, all banks do 529s. 529s are really good if you start at like infancy, because with a 529, it's good for if someone wants to have a college plan, because it's a basic college plan. You can't cash those out until the child turns 18 or is of age to go to college or high school. They could be as low as 14 in high school to cash one out. If they cash it out, it has to be for school.
Okay.
If it's not for school, they can cash it with a slight penalty if it's for, say, medical. Say the person comes with cancer or some deathly ill, then they'll let you take it, because of course we don't want to see anything bad happen, but just know that money was saved up for a different purpose. And it's safer to do it that way because it's not looked at as income, so you're not taxed on it while it's in there. So you can save it up a lot better in a 529 for young children. Some people start off with like small savings just so they can get to a certain point to start the 529s. And then some people will do like a Roth through a bank or through their job, where it's like a 401k. The good thing is with the bank is you don't have to roll it over to another bank. If you work a job and then you do a 401k, it's a little bit different. And the reason why is because some people will have a 401k and then once they quit their job, they don't realize that it's not growing anymore. So the money's sitting there, but it's not growing. If your spouse dies and it was under them and you never rolled it anywhere else, it's not growing. It stops, at that amount. So it's
Wow.
best to roll it into a bank where it'll constantly grow, because the bank can break it up, put it in different pockets,
Right.
and specialize it for you and build basically a portfolio. That's basically what people want to get to when they get to that retirement. They want to be able to, at like 30, say, oh, I got a retirement portfolio that I'm setting up and I have a couple of different things. You should really, by 50, have multiple things going on.
Multiple accounts with
Yeah.
money
So,
and
of course, a checking, a savings, a money market. You should have a CD. You should have a Roth. And if you have young children, you should have an insurance policy, for not just yourself, but for them as well. Banks a lot of times have great insurance policies. Most people don't know about them because they think that you can only get insurance from an insurance agent, but the banks do as
right.
well. And
That's good to know. Banks
yeah,
got insurance now. Insurance policies. Is it life insurance or
yep,
same?
yep,
And do you have to have an account?
nope,
Wow. And they probably have better rates.
yep,
And you would never think that.
nope,
You would never think you could just walk in the bank and get life insurance.
nope. A lot of people don't think that. And they do it off of your age. They do it off
Mm-hmm.
of your health. Like they might look and say, oh, you're a cigarette smoker, or you drink,
Mm-hmm.
or you're this age,
Right.
or do you have a history of, and then they ask you certain check things. And if you don't fall into the negatives, then you can qualify for one. They just
Wow.
ask it over the phone to the person.
Mm-hmm. That's good information.
And then you can pay it right out of your checking account. You don't
Right.
have to pay it through a job.
Okay. Yeah, you could just get it.
So they don't have that third party. That third party is chopping off of it.
Of course.
Yeah.
They're probably taking like.
Yeah, because if you thinking I'm doing it through my job, yeah, you're doing it through your job, but your job had to go to a bank.
To
They
get,
got to give it to the insurance company. So now it's you, the bank, the insurance company. So everybody getting a piece of your pie, but you're the only one working for it.
yeah.
No, that's not the way to do it.
It's really not.
Yeah.
And you don't
You gotta
have to
cut somebody out.
Yeah, you definitely should. And you don't have to necessarily get life insurance from your job. Like you
Right.
don't have to.
Nope. And some people think they got to do their 401k through their job or their Roth. You don't.
So you can do it through the bank as well.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Banking
And then you don't have to
101.
worry about changing it. Because say you change jobs, then you got to roll it. Or if you leave it there, then it's sitting stagnant.
sits.
Yeah. And then they don't match it anymore. A lot of jobs will match it, but they don't match it once you stop putting money into it.
Wow, that is. I didn't even know that. So you could definitely have a 401k through a bank. You do not have to go through a job.
Right.
You can go straight through the bank. You do not have to have life insurance through your job. You can go straight through the bank.
Yeah.
See? Information that I know y'all didn't know.
Right.
Because I didn't know it. So this is what I'm here for. I'm here to bring y'all this
Right.
information.
Right.
Like, you can't deny good information.
Yeah, it's all great information. And it's amazing because for me, I spill joy about sharing it because
Yes.
I know people don't know this stuff. So as she's asking me these questions, I'm like, dang, love, that's good. That's a good question. That's a good question. That's a good question. It
Yes.
really is, because a lot of people don't think about it. And even if they do, they don't express that they think about those things. They really don't, because they think that the questions are dumb questions. Like everybody knows, and I don't want people to know that I don't know. It's not about that. It's about everybody living a healthier financial life.
That's what we are.
And I don't care which
for.
bank it's at. I just really want people to, because that's what brings up crime, because people don't have money, so they fighting on the streets and acting a fool,
Yeah.
They busting people windows out and taking people's stuff. Like, it's just crazy.
It is crazy. Look, we got to pay some bills. We'll be right back with Trina, senior banker from PNC, and your girl Love Amazing. We'll be right back. Wealthy Wednesdays.
Today's broadcast was brought to you by Vistaprint. Create powerful promotions that are easy to design and hard to miss. With Vistaprint, it's easy to customize your business cards, marketing material, corporate gifts, calendars, stationery, and more with confidence, or get real-time design help. Visit radioonfire.com/Vistaprint to get $20 off any order of $40 or more. If you have a message to get out, you want it to be affordable, but you want it to look professional. Visit radioonfire.com/Vistaprint for $20 off today. Now more than ever, it's important where and who you get your news from. Radio on Fire brings information and entertainment to urban America. Whether it's news, sports, entertainment, or relationships, Radio on Fire has the urban experience covered from all angles. Visit radioonfire.com, download the Radio on Fire app, and follow us on social media at Radio on Fire.
Yes, we are back. We are back. Your girl Love Amazing. Wealthy Wednesdays. You already know it's the first Wednesday of the month. So I gotta bring y'all the education so y'all can get y'all finances together. You don't be going all crazy with y'all person of the month chat. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to balance that check out. Learn how to balance it out now.
That's right.
Now, what advice would you give a person that's on like a fixed budget? Because like those people that's getting disability, you know what I'm saying? Even unemployment.
Right. So what I tell most people, especially the students at Morgan State University, I explain to them a lot of times, because I know they're on small stipends. They get the refund checks. They also get like small, like awarded checks from their parents having been divorced, or, you know, like alimony and child support, stuff like that. They'll get those payments, but it's not often or frequent. They don't know how much money they're going to actually have.
Right.
So a lot of times I tell them to kind of check yourself. So that's my down way of saying it, like check yourself. So make sure you get all your receipts for about 5 days. Take those receipts, add them up, look over them, and see what on there you didn't have to buy.
Right.
What?
Just really be real with yourself.
Right. Be real. Look at that list. Say, how much of this stuff did I really not need? I just wanted. And did you really use it once you got it? Or could you have waited to get it? Right. Like, ask yourself those 3 questions. If you do that, you'll look through it and you'll see, like, when you go to 7-Eleven on any given day, if you're spending like $7-8 at Starbucks, or you're spending $15 at the corner store, like, what did you really need from the corner store?
Right.
That you had to, and if you think about it, you probably have spent like $70-80 in a week's time that you didn't even need to spend, not even thinking, just subconsciously spending cash. A lot of times I know a lot of young people, including myself, I used to fall into this. I had $20 bills, and I would break every bill I had. Why? Why would I break every bill? Like, if I just saved up and said, I'm going to spend this $20 between 2 days, instead of breaking a 20 in the morning and a 20 in the evening and then a 20 and then I got all this change, and then I'm like trying to find.
All know when you break a 20, it's over.
You killing it. You killing it.
$2
out the 20. You don't even know where that 2 hours. Yeah, you don't even know where you put it. You don't even. You find it in pants later, like, yes. And you be like, oh my God, I found this $10.
2 months later.
Yes, sometimes in the washing machine. I do that. So I know, like, the easiest thing you could do is really sit down with your receipts and really, like, that's how we are at work with emails and stuff. We have what we call your receipts. So you be like, check your receipts, get your receipts, make sure you sent that email, or check this thing, or check that. So check yourself. Look at those receipts. Count out what you spent and see how much of that money you didn't have to spend. And if you could just save 25% of what you spent, you would have a pretty good savings. Because if you looked at it over a month's time, you think you spend $80 within a week just frivolously.
Right.
And then 2 weeks, that's $160. 3 weeks, you up to $240, and you're like, well, where is the money? What did I do with this extra money? I know I made extra money. Where is the money going? If you work overtime, that's not money that you expected. If you get extra money from your grandparents, that's not money that you expected. You should be putting that in a savings account, a savings pocket. Yeah. We also, I know most banks do have, but PNC has an account where you can link it and put stuff into a wish list. Right. So that wish list, when you put it away, it won't let you touch it. It'll literally alert you that you're about to go into your wish list.
You're going in your wish list.
No. Because you have a trip you want to go on, or you trying to go see Beyonce down the street, or Cardi B is going to be in Jersey, and you want to go
for that house.
Yes, whatever good thing you see for your future. You don't want to diminish that by spending something and splurging on it at the moment. So that you can save up a little bit differently. My ask is always to have people think about what you purchase. If you purchase 10 things, instead of purchasing 10, only purchase 8. Take the other 2 things that you really wanted, don't get it, and then take $5, $10, whatever it costs, and put it in a little bucket. away where you can't see it.
Yep.
At least until you have a little bit of money. And then if you did that every week for a month, you'll see how much you can save.
Yeah. And like you just said, just copying that example of that Gary V. I don't know what his name is, but he's like a white guy that be on Instagram. You know what I'm talking about?
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah, him. He said it. He was like, he worked a job that he was making only like 40, maybe 50,000 a year or whatever. And he was like, he had high rent, same stuff like a regular American, but he was like, he chose to not buy that $4 coffee.
Yep.
Not go and spend, what
Yep.
I'm saying, a whole bunch of
Yep.
money on clothes, and actually save that money
Yep.
for not buying extra stuff,
Yep.
and invested the little bit of money
Yep.
that he was saving up.
Exactly.
So it starts small.
Right. And I've learned that even from customers and having classes and educating young people on how to save. A lot of times what happens is I've had teachers say, oh, I want to tell them my story. I used to buy 2 cups of coffee a day from Starbucks, spending $5 for each cup of coffee.
For real.
$10 a day for coffee. She cut herself off for 2 months and paid for a trip to Jamaica.
See? Come on now. Buying $10 coffee.
She saved herself $10 a day. If we can feed hungry countries with mere cents, why couldn't you save up for yourself? It's something you want for yourself.
Yeah, you
Like,
have to.
is that coffee that important? She said, I literally just took out of some other spending that I was spending and purchasing food at the grocery store, and would buy herself those little pods that said they was the Starbucks flavors that she liked, and she would make the little pod ones herself, and she saved so much more money that way.
Just from not buying her $10 coffee.
$10 coffee a day. Every day.
So
That's $70 a week.
I know. I had some homework for y'all, okay? So we'll do this every first of the month, first Wednesday of the month, Wealthy Wednesdays. I have homework for y'all. Y'all have 30 days. I want y'all to literally try to save y'all lunch money. Whatever money y'all spend for work, whatever.
At least once a
pick
week.
up y'all need,
Yep.
whatever pick up y'all need in the morning, your coffee, your tea. Just try to not spend that for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, cheap for 2 weeks. And tell me what y'all see. Tell me in 30 days. Because I want to know. Listen, I eat at home. I cook every day. Like, me eating out is a treat. Okay? And most of the time, I ain't paying for it. So, it don't even matter at the end of the day, baby. I'm saving what I can.
Right.
So, I definitely want y'all.
Right.
That's y'all homework.
Yes. That's a great call to action. I love call to actions. People learn a lot.
Yes.
They even if they journal it themselves, like just basically writing down little notes about, how they feel during the times and how their feelings change over the time. It's kind of like a healthy journal, because you can go back and reflect on it and say, wow, I was really going crazy for that coffee back there, but I'm like, good. Forget that coffee. I got $1,000 in my account now.
Exactly. I save big money. I ain't gonna lie. If eating out was my weakness, like great cookie is my weakness. Snickerdoodles. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, they the best, ain't they? But I can make them, so I ain't worried.
It's real bad, yo. I used to go get the bucket.
Ooh,
And
that's a lot.
$20.
That's a lot.
And
And you could buy a roll of cookie dough for $5.
But see, I had a roll of cookie dough in there too. That's the sad part. See, that's my weakness, y'all. My sweets. That's what I gave y'all homework. I gotta give myself homework.
She gonna do the same thing. And I'm gonna check in with her.
And my Fig Newtons at the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree has the best Fig Newtons. Hey, let's hold it. That's a saving tip for y'all. Instead of going to a Food Line, Safeway to buy Fig Newtons, Dollar Tree has the best Fig Newtons. And that's the only place I go to get my Fig Newtons. It's the Dollar Tree.
That is another thing that can cut back on the prices of things. Normally people like to buy things that are name brand, but the name brands make the off brands as well. They just sell their names and their brand to that company.
Exactly.
That's what they do.
And Dollar Tree sell bacon, y'all.
Yeah.
Turkey bacon, not regular bacon, but I don't care. And
They
it's
do.
for $1.
They do, and it's good.
Yup, and I buy it. I don't buy my bacon from nowhere else now.
It's good.
I
They
was
got some good
spending,
stuff.
$3 on bacon at first?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm saving big money. I go in there and buy like $20 worth of bacon. I ain't gonna lie, I be stacked for the whole month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
And it's the perfect
That's good.
portion.
Now, mind you can actually sell it too. You can make some more money. That's what I tell the college students. I be
Listen.
like, y'all don't have your own hustle. Every student should have a hustle.
You gotta have a
You gotta have a hustle. You in school, instead of you buying a soda from the canteen, you should buy a case of sodas and sell them to your friends for $1 a piece. Cause what you pay for one, they paying for your whole case and you getting all your money back. And I don't drink soda, but I'm just saying, like, even waters, you could do the same thing. A case of water is $24. You go to this local store, you might pay $5 or $4.
Right.
You get 24 in there, sell them $1 a piece. Don't feel bad.
Listen,
Other
don't
people
feel
doing
bad. This is Wealthy Wednesdays. You gonna get your entrepreneur tips.
Yes.
You gonna get your banking tip.
Yes.
You don't know what you gonna hear on here. I'm gonna need y'all to stay tuned every Wednesday.
That's right.
Well, first Wednesday of the month.
Right.
Once a month, we gonna bring y'all the good financial tips.
Mm-hmm.
Trina is here. For those who just joining, she's a senior banker at PNC Bank. I'm so excited about this partnership. It's gonna be great. We got some great shows coming for y'all. So I know we just talked about the advice that you would give people that's on a fixed income.
Mm-hmm.
So what advice would you give people that's not on a fixed income? Because I've noticed that a lot of people, they actually make good money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they still broke.
They still broke. That's crazy, ain't it? You know why? Because they just spend, they feel like the world is their oyster and they should just spend the money now. And the way people are and the way they think a lot of times now is basically this fast food mind.
Right.
I want it now, instead of waiting for things to either be on sale or getting two for the price of one, or not buying something that you really didn't need in the first place.
Yep.
Or projecting really what the purpose is of you having it. Is this something you really need or you just want? Yeah.
I think a lot of times it be what they want.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't want to take out the time. Like, they don't want to spend that little extra time it is to get that cheaper price. Meaning, like...
going out their way.
Right. You might drive past 7-Eleven, but you know if you go this way, Royal Farms down the street.
And it's cheaper.
Way cheaper. You get any sides for $1.
Yep.
7-Eleven want to charge you $4 and $5 for a Slurpee.
Yep.
Like, I tell my homeboys that all the time. They be like, I don't feel like going. I be like, all right, it's your money, but whatever. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When you get into your saving mode.
Yep. Also with gas, people do the same thing. They just spend the money for the gas, but it's so much cheaper to spend it in cash a lot of times instead of putting it on their card.
Yes, they do charge fees for that.
Yes. Yes.
They do. And they have the prices on the pump. It'll say card prices and cash prices.
Yes, ma'am. And they tend to do that with all things nowadays, even the corner stores. And the reason being is because they're being charged to use those machines. They have to purchase the machine, and then they're giving them fees. And they got, every time they swipe the card, they got that company has to pay. So they taxing you on it. Once again, finding a way to get your money into their pocket. So you find a way where you can force them to not take your money. The best way to spend, to me, when you have money to spend, is to spend it in cash anyway, instead of on your card. Because when you swipe your card, it's like Dora the Explorer. Swiper, no swiping. I tell customers this all the time when they come in and say, I got 15 overdrafts and I don't understand why I got all these overdrafts. And I say, swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping.
Oh, man.
And they're like, what happened? I don't understand. It was Friday, and I didn't realize that on Saturday that money wasn't going to be there, and that they taxed me on all of that. And then Monday, I didn't have no money. And then on Monday, they sitting in the bank, looking in my face, want me to explain why they didn't see all of their pending transactions. Now, the difference is that transactions that are pending on an account, They show up like, hey, I'm here. I'm in the cloud. You can see me. Now you can accept it. It's coming out whether you want it to or not. It's going to come out. And it has a date on it of when it's going to come out. But are you paying attention to that part? Most people are not. They just swiping the card and swiping the card and swiping the card. And they realize how much they actually have spent.
And then, like
they're
you said,
overwhelmed.
Monday morning, they will have a whole bunch of overdraft fees.
Yes.
I'm telling you, because the bank doesn't. So normally, how does the transactions process?
Normally, a transactions process in one business day. Certain merchants will hold those transactions because, like I said, they get charged themselves when they have transactions. So they have to do the actual transaction through the computer if it's not in cash. So they're going to charge you the extra fees that it takes. Sometimes they'll hold off on actually sending their transactions through. So on certain days of the week, they don't get as much traffic. So because they know they don't gonna have a lot of traffic and they close early or they close late or they're not open as long and they only had 10 transactions, on a day that they had 50, they'll add that 10 into the 50 so they're only paying the one fee opposed to paying 2 days fees.
Right.
So it's holding you up. Yes, they holding you up, but like I said, it's still showing on your account as an alert. Hey, buddy. You got this money that's sitting out here in a little bucket separate and you're not paying attention.
Right. And that's when
pay
you start
attention.
Thinking you have that money available and it's not.
Yes. And that's why you have that security of being able to go online or check on your phone. Just like you can check updates with Facebook or with Snapchat when people say different things are going on. Your phone will alert you a text. Hey, you only have $10 left in your account. Right. Or hey, you only have $1,000 left in your account. Or hey, $5,000 went into your account. Like, it tells you all of those type of transactions if you set it up for that. Just like you set up other stuff, you have to take that mindset that you're going to take control over your own financial well-being and your funds. Exactly. And understanding it and manipulating it so that it works to your best ability and you're not paying those fees. Yes. Banks want you to be able to miss all those things and pay the fees. Yeah. Why not?
They make money. That's
why not?
They make money.
Why not? But that's not our biggest purpose. Our biggest purpose is to grow you and show you how to grow your money, because the better you are with your money, the better we are in banks with money, because you trust us with your money, the more money the bank has. Right. Not the more money that you owe us, because money that's owed to us is not how we have more money. That's not what gives us money. That just puts us in debt with that money. Right. We want you to actually be able to be wealthy in your money and know that your money is being held there. Not that you owe us. If we had 15 accounts that's all negative, over $500 each account, compared to 15 accounts that all have a positive over 100, we're going to want the positive accounts, not the negative accounts. Most definitely. We want that. So we'll try to build on that relationship and give you more if you do the right things. Right. And that's where credit and all that kind of stuff comes in, which is a whole nother segment. And I like
the way you said manipulate and know what's going on.
Yes.
So it works for you.
Yes.
Banks are not all bad. You have to know how it works to be able to manipulate it and make it work for you.
Yes. It's people every day who knows that they can get lending through the bank because they have capital or things like that. They have.
Yes. So we're going to bring this show to an end. I thank you so much.
You're welcome,
Trina, for coming. And you know, if y'all want any more advice outside the show, I expect y'all to be here every first of the Wednesday, you know. But Trina is available at PNC Bank for those who want to reach out or get some information, open an account, refer a person. Do y'all have a referral program again?
Yes. We also have the radio referral, where it's $50 if you open up your first time virtual wallet account. Yeah.
See? Get your little free coins, okay?
Right. That's your good first beginning to a savings. $50 for free.
Yes, that's the beginning. So I'll catch you next month, the first Wednesday of July. And we'll be back. Wealthy Wednesdays. Your girl Love Amazing. Ready on fire.
Thanks.
I hope y'all learned something. Got y'all pen and y'all pad out, okay? Don't play.